Hi, everyone. How are you doing? I wanted to say right off the bat that if this thing just goes dead or whatever, we are hearing a little bit of thunderstorms out in the background. So, or thunder. It's not supposed to be anything bad, I don't think, but you never know if I'm going to lose my internet. In fact, just 5 minutes ago, my internet wasn't working and I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to go live. So, there's that. I just wanted to put that out there to begin with. And so I just want to say hi to everybody that is here for the live and for anybody that comes in later. Hi, Denise. Um, on the replay, it's good to be here. It's a cloudy, kind of icky day. If you hear a bunch of background noise, my cat has, I don't know, she's decided that today is the day to play and she is running around acting like a crazy person. So she may be in my lap in a minute. You just never know. So I'm going to go back to a little bit of the cult of Scientology stuff today, and I wanted to do this a day or two ago, but I just wasn't feeling up to it. So I'm kind of a day or two late on it, but I still think it warrants being talked about. So, because I got to have an opinion, right? So there's this whole interview, kind of an impromptu interview that Daniel from Salem had with Francois Coster. And there's the interview caused a little bit of a tussle, basically, a little bit of a argument between a bunch of the protesters and and Daniel. And I really hope that that just kind of straightens itself out, because I really think this is one of those things where it's just that I don't think there's a bad guy in it. I think that people just a lot of adrenaline. Okay. And so I'm really hoping that it kind of straightens itself out. But thank you for being here. Absolutely. Whether you're a first time viewer or regular or one of the mods, I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you that comes to check in on us when we pop in at random times on random days. And if you're a troll, please just go ahead and go away. I just really don't feel like putting up with you. But, if you got a troll, I guess you got a troll. Everybody's got to do something, right? Mm. But anyway, let's just sit back, have a coffee or whatever you want to have to drink or whatever. This is not going to be a real long one. And let's just see what's going on a little bit. How's that sound? So, I want to talk a little bit about that interview between Daniel from Salem and Francois Costner, or Coster. Sorry, I always want to call her Costner. I guess it's Kevin Costner. I don't know. But anyway, so she's the owner of LaPoopBelle, which literally translates to the trash can, which why would you name your restaurant the trash can? I mean, does she not know French? I don't know French, but if I'm going to name my restaurant something French, I'm going to probably look up all kinds of translations and see what it translates to, but trash can's not going to be one of them. But anyway, y'all, this restaurant sits right across from the Cult of Scientology's Celebrity Center. And there's a big old Church of Scientology billboard on top of the building. So, there's that. So we already, I mean, she can't help the location, right? But having the billboard up there says something. But then, there's other things. Like, it just so happens that this restaurant is where Danny Masterson of that 70s show, in case you didn't know who he was, because I didn't know who he was at first, because I didn't watch the show, and I don't know. I didn't know who he was at first. But anyway, this restaurant is where he drugged at least Jane Doe 3, Chrissy Bixler, before violently essaying her. Okay? You take that and you add, all the rest of it up, and you'll see why the restaurant has been a target of the protesters for several months now. Okay? So Francois, she also attended every single day of the preliminary hearings, which was long. They said it was long like a trial. 2 trials, the sentencing hearing, all of that in the case against Danny Masterson. She sat with the Mastersons. She walked into court with the Mastersons. She was loving on them, and and on Danny. Just ugh. And then whenever it was all said and done, after or during, before they walked out of, anyway, the sentencing hearing, she literally flipped off Chrissy Bixler, who's one of the Jane Does, which is, I mean, it's tacky, but it's just, ugh. And on top of all that, she did write a character letter for Danny Masterson in support of him, asking the judge to please be lenient on her friend because, well, y'all, he likes dogs. What? But let's not forget Franny herself, which I've kind of taken to calling her Franny. Because Francois. Anyway, let's not forget Franny herself has been a pain in the patootie to the protesters, y'all. She herself has attacked them. She has customers. She lies to them and tells them things about the protesters and about why they're protesting that aren't even true. She plies customers with drinks to try to get them to either assault or attack even the protesters. I mean, she's not some little sweetheart, okay? She's been a total B. Whenever some of these customers then do actually attack the protesters, if you notice, they always run right back to the trash can every time. And she hides them inside while the LAPD pretends to search for them, right? So all of this is why she continues to have a group of protesters outside, why she is so disliked, why she is so distrusted. She's never come to them and said, hey, he did a shitty thing and I was his friend, but I can't stand behind that. And, or I'm sorry for what happened to Chrissy in my restaurant. Or, hi, are y'all having a nice day? No, nothing even remotely nice, ever. It's always just ick. But we're to believe that just suddenly, on just a regular day, in the middle of the day, old Franny just randomly decides to speak to Daniel and clear the air. She just wanted us all to be able to be friends, y'all. This woman doesn't do anything. I mean, anything that's not manipulative and self-serving. All you got to do is watch her. You can tell that much. But Franny, she made some mistakes, y'all. For one thing, she mistook Daniel's kindness for weakness. Like, she watched him. You could tell she had watched him outside. She had watched the lives. And he's kind and kind of soft-spoken and everything. And, she thought he was going to be the weak link, that she could just like suck up to him and bring him in on her side. And I don't know why she thought that if he was this weakling, that he would have so much power, to put an end to those pesky protests. But that's what she thought. You could tell. She went to him. He didn't go to her. He was surprised when she talked to him. He's like, oh, it's Francois. It was like, oh. And I mean, she came to him. and stayed out there. It was weird. I don't know. But anyway, you could tell she was kind of dangling a couple carrots at him, right? Trying to be friendly. Carrot number one, I really like your music. I was going to play it here at my restaurant, but then I thought, we're not friends yet. Ugh. Carrot number two, would you like a soda or something? I mean, she offered it several times. It never happened, which I was actually glad because I was like, no, don't do it, Daniel. You see, when I look at Franny, all I see is former cult leader Jim Jones, who led and actually forced at gunpoint his members to drink poisoned Kool-Aid in a mass unaliving. People in the chat noticed it too. It was kind of creepy, y'all. Everybody was like going, oh my God, you know who she looks like? Because this was really like one of the first like up close things that we had seen of her. You know, we've seen like zoom, zoom, zoom. She zooms around, right? But we saw it and it was like going, oh no. And although, you know, Daniel was kind to her, I don't believe that he was trying to buddy up to her or that he was trying to speak for any of the other protesters, Streets in particular. But that's what Streets and Confident Chris thought. They were really upset. And I hope that calms down. And I think he was trying to keep her talking, get her on the record, even get some good, helpful little, you know, sound bites to help the cause a little bit. You just never know. The more they talk, the more they say, right? But sadly, he has now said that he's not going to protest anymore because it's gotten toxic. And he was talking about mostly amongst the protesters, and I think mostly because of this event. But y'all, he was just unprepared and ill-equipped for this interview, which I would expect. That's what she expected too. That's why she accosted him like she did. Like, you know, she didn't like say, hey, in about half an hour, I'm going to be free. Can we maybe have a sit down and talk? No. She walked out and started talking. But he held his own. I liked it that he had counterpoints for any point that she thought she was making. He stayed really calm, even agreeable. It's hard to explain it, y'all, but when you're doing an interview, the more that you just kind of nod and say, uh-huh, okay, yeah, the more they talk. You don't have to really be agreeing with them, but it puts them at ease. And the more you do that, the more they open up. And I think that's what he was doing. Because they'll get confident. They'll even think that you're on their side or that you're so stupid that you're just soaking it all in, right? And they'll tell more than they intend. I've done the same thing with interviews, but the difference is he was live and he was unprepared. I mean, if you went back and listened to a lot of the recordings of my interviews that I've done, there's a lot of me. You either don't hear me at all or you hear me like being, okay, wow, okay, then what happened? You know, that's not what happened. What are you going to tell me? You know, then what did you do? No, it was, you try to be kind. He did all this without the training to do it. But in a live, when you're doing that, and when, you know, emotions are high on something like that, it can kind of look like you drank the Kool-Aid. But I don't think he did. But watching it unfold, I absolutely, Kimberly, it's Daniel from Salem. He's in LA. Anyway, but watching it unfold, I can totally understand where Streets and Confident Chris got pissed off at. If anyone has the right to be mad, it's the protesters. Mad at everyone, anyone, everything. They are in this 24/7 and it's high emotion all the time. They're being attacked, they're being arrested, they're being swatted. It's constant. We can turn off YouTube. Those of us, which not me, but those of you that protest here and there, you don't have to go. But this has become their job. This is what they do every day, day in and day out. Where we can go do something else, everything they do has become about these protests. So I can understand just anybody that's speaking what you kind of consider out of turn just a little bit. I can kind of see them getting upset about it. But I hope that they'll think it through and they'll realize what went on. But what they were seeing was Franny manipulate Daniel and that he was being relatively passive. And they were being pumped with adrenaline listening to this or watching it if they were watching the lives, which they were rushing to get there. So they were probably just listening. And they weren't seeing his passivity as he was also manipulating the manipulator. Which is a little trick when you're doing an interview. He may have a future in this, y'all. But I hope that they will eventually see that. See what he was doing for what it was. Unless he pulls some kind of craziness and I'm like, oh, well, everything I thought just went out the window. But from what I've seen as of right now, this is my opinion on it. The interview and the anger did lead to Chris's finest moment to date, y'all. If you haven't seen it, you've got to go back and watch it. He unleashed on Franny like you would not believe, but in the very best of ways. He rapid fired questions at her that she still refuses to answer. He can come off as smiling, kind of young and silly, but this was a man on fire, y'all. And I was cheering for him. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I know, of course, you can watch Daniel, his video and see it, but also Aaron Levin Smith has one where he kind of gives his thoughts on the video, and oh my gosh, Chris was something. But anyway, as for Franny, her true self kind of leaked out because she had just been pleading her, I'm a good person, I'm so kind, I don't flip people off, I don't say foul things. She'd just been pleading that seconds ago with Daniel, right? And Chris walks up, and I mean within seconds, she's, she takes off and she's inside her business. But she is immediately telling Chris to fuck off, right? Yelling it at him from inside her business. Can you imagine that you're sitting in a restaurant and the owner is yelling this? What kind of trash pit, crappy place is that? Ugh. I really do hope that calmer minds are back in control and that Chris and Streets will come to realize the villain remains Franny and Scientology. Daniel, he was probably naive, but even in that, he still did good. His intentions, I believe, were good. So I hope that they can forgive and forget. DOA, who had been trying to take some personal time off, even made a statement and said that he supports Daniel 100% and his video 100% and says that he did a good job. So I have hope that when they all sit down and kind of talk, they'll, kind of figure this out. But y'all, this lady, she is such a liar. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're getting some thunder. So seriously, if I just go black, everything's fine. We're just experiencing some thunderstorms, and we tend to lose our electric or our internet. So if it goes black, don't worry. I'm fine. I've got a cellar right out there. Okay. So anyway, what really got me is she still says that she just doesn't know what happened between Masterson and the Jane Does. Well, I call BS on that because, like I said, she heard all the evidence, all of it. She knows. She's either being willfully ignorant or she doesn't care. And the thing is Bixler and Franny were supposedly friends. So if that's the case, wouldn't she at least give her some kind of credit, some kind of off chance that she was telling the truth? Aaron said, shouldn't she get at least 50% chance of maybe she's, telling the truth, right? If Danny is getting, that maybe he's telling the truth, then why isn't Chrissy getting that? Maybe she's telling the truth. But nope, Danny gets all the support. I don't understand why. I mean, y'all, he drugged Chrissy in that restaurant. If some friend or family member of mine drugged somebody in my place of business or my home, I would be, first of all, repulsed. And so mad. I mean, livid would not even come close to describing it. It just wouldn't. And I would feel sick, but I'd feel guilty. I mean, not like that I did anything, but I don't know, just on some level, I think I would feel guilty. I don't know. But I sure wouldn't be loving up on the guy that did it and writing character letters or flipping off the victims. I mean, I just wouldn't. And then you add to that now all of a sudden she is now claiming that, oops, about to pull off my light. She's now claiming that she too was a victim of SA. Well, that's convenient. If she was, don't you think that she would have like a little bit of a soft spot in her heart for the victims? I mean, I don't know. I ain't buying it. It's not my story. She may be. But it didn't ring true. She was asked over and over if she would apologize to Masterson's victims. And she said, I love these kind of apologies. She said that she apologized to anyone I've ever done anything to. Well, talk about an apology without an apology. How about knowing what you're apologizing for, Franny? How about knowing who you're apologizing to? I mean, that is so just degrading and just, ugh. And throughout this whole interview, for lack of a better word for it, because really, while Daniel asked a lot of questions and she said a few things, about 4 or 5 things, it was just a repeat. Like he kept repeating the same questions because she wouldn't answer them. And she kept talking about the same 4 or 5 things. And most of the time it was just nonsensical. I couldn't figure it out. I really want y'all to watch this video because I want to figure out if you feel the same way I did. She kept being very adamant, though, that she's a good and kind person because she likes dogs. And she even noted that Daniel and Streets both like dogs too, so she has hope that they're good people too. And not only that she likes dogs, but that she has a successful business for many years, and that shows that she's a good person. But Franny, bad people succeed in business all the time. I mean, we just did a 2-part deal on businesses that are run by cults, right? That they're certainly not good people, but they're still in business and have been for a long, long time. And successful businesses generally don't require GoFundMe's in order to pay their bills, but yours does. And successful people don't sell their souls to rapists or cults to survive. Well, at least not successful people who are also kind and like dogs. Daniel asked if she still sells Masterson's wine. I can't remember the name of it, and I know the name of it, and I didn't write it down because I know the name of it. Ugh. She never actually answered Daniel, but she did say that Danny doesn't own the winery that makes that wine anyway. He only owns the grapes. And that's true. But she neglected to say that his sister is the one that owns the winery. She also says that she's a good person because she took care of her father before he passed, which is very kind, and it's hard. I took care of my mom a lot. And that she takes care of her mom every day. Okay. But then she also said that she was going to go visit her mom and that it's a long trip. I mean, driving, she doesn't have to fly, but it's a long trip, but she was going to go visit her mom for Mother's Day. But then later she got all teary-eyed and all this and really playing up the woe is me, you know, and said that she misses her mom since she's gone. She didn't say died that I heard, but that was certainly the implication, was that her mom has now died. So which is it? Do you take care of her every day? Do you make a special on Mother's Day? Or is she gone? I mean, I feel bad for her either way. I mean, I lost my mom 2 years ago, and it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. So I'm not bashing Francoise for that. I'm just saying, which is it? It was just, I don't know, y'all. It was just gross. But anyway, if you haven't watched Daniel from Salem's video, I suggest you do. Also, Aaron has one on it. And it was really good too. And he had a lot of the same reactions that I did. I was like watching it, and everything that I was thinking, he would say it. And I would be like, oh, I wanted to have some original something to say, you know? But anyway, so what do y'all think? Daniel is afraid that the protests have become toxic. Do you think that they've become toxic? Are they too tough on LaPoopBelle? Is Francoise misunderstood? What do y'all think? I'm really, really interested. So I'm going to go to the chat. Denise Hansen's here. Debbie P. Yeah. Joe McCoyne. I'm so glad you're back. Gary Mackey, splitting time between here and various storm channels. Yeah. Yeah. It's starting to rain and get a little darker here, but my weather radio thing's not going off, so yeah. Denise says her husband loves to watch the storm chasers. My husband does too. Ooh, Iowa's being tore up right now. We have family there. I need to find out how they are. Hmm. Kimberly Gabaldon is here. Poet Brian Lucas is here. Good afternoon, everyone. Joe McCoy says the LA situation has become a melting pot of folks' human nature is at work. As is the way of human nature, it is unpredictable. This can be dangerous. There is division within. This is the way it is. It absolutely is. That it just kind of it's just the way it is. It is what it is kind of deal, right? It's sad, but yeah. It's hard to call her a lady. And just like Scientology, I have such a hard time calling it the Church of Scientology. But I just want to call it the cult of Scientology all the time. And I missed your show last night, Chow. I love watching it, but I fell smooth asleep. I think I might have been there for the first maybe 5 minutes, and then I was out. A wise man told me there is the truth, there is the lie, and we usually get something in the middle. The real whole truth is a rare thing. Absolutely. Debbie P, absolutely. Word salad. Yes. She may well be, but her behavior says that she thinks her victimhood is more important than anyone else's. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. That's exactly what I thought. I just didn't word it that way, but it was kind of ridiculous. Oh, Susan P's in Texas. Oops. Ooh, I lost it. Hold on. Yeah, right there. She's in Texas, so she's late. I've got family in Texas too. I've got a lot of family around San Antonio, well, right outside of San Antonio and in San Antonio. So I was born in San Antonio, as was my mom. Yes, they have attacked a protester so much that if it becomes toxic, it's her fault. I believe so too. I don't have any pity for them either. I really don't. Aw, I think you've got the nose for news, Susie. It's a crime that you're no longer a reporter, except that you kind of are a reporter again. Thank heavens. Kind of. This is a lot more fun. I'm doing something that I think um, will help, in the long run. I don't know. Some of the other stuff was hard, and it's hard to report on people that you know all the time. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Even their friends are playing dirty. Oh, yeah. I've got a friend in Fort Worth. I really do. She's one of my very best friends. So I'm a Texas girl. I'm a California girl more than anything. I mean, I live in Oklahoma, but I just kind of live here and have for 40 years. But I'm always going to be a California girl with a little bit of Texas thrown in there because of my mom and all my aunt and oh, you cut it short. Oh, okay. Off topic, Susie, but what is that quilt behind you with all the names on it? It's actually, I'll have to post a picture of it in my community page. My aunt made it for me, and it says what cancer can't do. And it says that, oh, there's a whole bunch of it. It can't corrode faith, it can't kill friendship, erase memories, invade the soul. There's just a lot of stuff. It's really pretty, but my aunt made it for me. I've got a picture of it that I sent. I can't remember who. I think Mama's Life wanted it. So anyway, I sent a picture to somebody, but I'll try to remember and I'll post one on my community page later. So try to check back there. I've got to ask Mark exactly where the family's at. I don't know. We do have a lot of family in Omaha, but I can't remember exactly where in Iowa. Over the past week, Joel says, I have reflected on life a lot. We expect great things and we want it now. The real world has a different idea. Change of any kind can be slow, wins can be small. Patience, folks. Absolutely. We've got to be patient. Poet says, slightly off topic, I'm going on the YouTube channel, My Others Keepers, at 7 p.m. Central Time. Gonna go deep dive into my childhood, amongst other things. Oh, wow. I will definitely have to watch that. Are they going to stream it to yours also? Because I definitely want to watch it, but I will try. If we keep our, if we don't lose our internet, but if so, I'll catch it on the replay. But I definitely want to see that. Yeah, I'll put it on there. I think it would be great. That would be really great. So, anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I've still got to make up my what we call my go bag or my freighty bag in case we have to go to the cellar. So I'm gonna run do that just in case. I don't expect to, but always better to be, you know, prepared instead of caught by surprise. So I'm gonna go do that. I might have another one later tonight. I've got a couple other little cute ones I'm gonna do. We are still getting ready to do the giveaway. So Veta will be doing that one with me, and we've got several different shows coming up. I've got several coming up on cults, not just Scientology, but other cults, and it is something else. There is like I think I could do a show a day and not run out for a year. It is crazy. Oh, it's not going to be on your channel. Okay, but I'll watch it on the other one. I will watch it. I will go set that now so I won't forget. So I will be safe. I'm really not worried. I keep looking out the windows, but it's really not supposed to be bad, I don't think. But you never know, right? I went ahead and got my shower and all that, so that I'm at least clean and not sweaty from doing laundry and everything. If I have to go sit in the cellar amongst all my family because we're kind of squished in there, right? So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I go see my oncologist. I had my scans yesterday. And so tomorrow evening, I'm hoping to have an update on where all that sits as of right now. So far, it's okay. But anyway, you stay safe too, Chow Yun Smut. I love you, girl. I really do. You are one of my favorite people. You and Marilyn, and there's so many, but there's a couple of you that just have my heart. So anyway, I'm going to go and I will talk to you guys later. I love you all. Bye.